So if anybody's heard like Tony Robbins or a lot of these, self-help, mental folks, you know what I'm saying, who are working with you, everybody's like 21 days, 21 days, 21 days. The reason why they're saying 21 days is because we're in this American culture or this Western culture where we like, yo, we got to get it fast. We got to get it fast. And they got to sell. That's just the bottom line about it. They have to sell. So they have to market to us and say, yo, they know it don't take 21 days. That's the beauty of it. They know that it don't take 21 days. But they're like, look, 21 days you can break a habit. That's not necessarily true. Yeah. Blessed to see another day today. Blessed to see another day today. Appreciate you guys for joining us. Listen, we are talking about how to develop productive habits. All right. So coffee talk. Is it coffee?
Yep, coffee talk.
Oh, coffee talk. Okay. Talk. You gotta say that thing correctly. Coffee talk said that. Look, put some diction on there. Put some diction on there. So last Soundboard Sundays we had some technical difficulties, which me and Max. Max, we talked about it. We definitely are definitely planning on having some better strategies for you guys because we do not want to rob the people of getting this information, being able to reach out and being able to help yourselves, okay? Being able to help yourselves. We're not staying on long. We want to open it up for Q&As towards the end of this live, so we're not going to stay on super duper long, okay? So y'all know how we do, right? Y'all know how we do. Book bars. Leaders are readers. Book bars. All right. So we start off this Soundboard Sundays. Black Whoop Power, what's good? Appreciate you joining us. Again, we're talking about how to develop productive habits. Why do you want productive habits? Because it extends past music, but when you have it in music, you can get to whatever level it is that you're trying to be, whether it's making awesome music for yourself, making music to change people's lives, or making music to get to the bag. All right? You still need those habits in place. And today we're talking about part 2 with that formula of productive habits. I'm kind of fired up today, y'all. Anybody seen the Kanye West interview on Drake Champs? Put a 1 in the chat if you saw Kanye West interview on Drake Champs. Kanye be kind of going all over the place, but again, we need to stop doing that, is dismissing somebody as crazy, right. And really valuing and saying, yo, what is the weight of what somebody is saying? All right? Valuing what is the weight of what somebody is saying, because if you're there, listen, especially in these times, yep. if you are listening to somebody, right? If you're going to waste your time, spend some time listening to somebody, you cannot just write them off as crazy because you're crazy for sitting there listening to a crazy person. All right, if it's like a crazy person on a subway or a bum or something like that, I'm going to get back on script. Hold on, though. Listen, if it's a crazy person on a subway, or you don't stand there and just sit there and listen to no crazy person, right? You just keep it moving. So the fact that we'll sit there and watch like a train, a quote unquote, a train wreck, you know what I'm saying, in the form of a person or somebody's just speaking off script, and then we'll like go along with whatever media source is calling them crazy. Right. Who's crazy? Right? Everybody got to be able to stand on their own 2 feet. A man or a woman needs to be able to judge the content of what is coming out of somebody's mouth with their own brain. That's it. That is it. You know what I'm saying? We got to stop allowing these media platforms to what the book Limitless talks about, digital deduction. Digital deduction. That is when you're looking at a media source, let's say MSNBC or Fox News or whatever, TMZ, and you're allowing them to tell you what's going on.
Mm.
And you're not saying, okay, I hear the story that they brought to me. Then let me like break that down on myself. Are these things true? Don't let anybody else digitally deduct like your own deduction. That's what's important. All right.
You don't even challenge that in your own way.
Right, you don't even challenge it. You don't even challenge it. We're talking, okay, all right. So my book bar comes from Limitless. This is a book I highly suggest that if you're watching this and happen to watch this on a replay, get the book Limitless.
Amazing.
Because we need to learn how to learn. That's 100%. Mm-hmm. I'm in constant development, and Max is in constant development so that we can be better, right? Better coaches, better students.
Absolutely.
Right? So, okay, so my book bar is essentially, it's from the title chapter called Flow, which is chapter 10, but it's on the page right before that. And this is Stephen Kotler said, to put it another way, flow is the phone booth where Clark Kent changes clothes.
Oh, yeah.
The place from where Superman emerges. And anybody know what we're talking about? We're talking about like flow. When you get into that zone and you're like, yo, I've been in here. I know what I'm doing. I got clarity. I have the habits. I'm already operating in the habits. I got the system. I have the skill. I am in flow. It's a beautiful place to be. Intellectual Chocolate, what's going on, bro? Talking about flow. Intellectual Chocolate, did you happen to see the Kanye West interview? If you didn't, brother, please watch that Kanye West interview on Drink Champs. But talking about how to get into that flow state, because that is the place where the creative needs to be, right? Especially the creative who is busy, creatives who are on the 9 to 5 or working to get off their 9 to 5. We need to be able to be in a place where we have flow. So we need to know how to have the habits so we can make sure that flow, we can make sure that we have an environment to foster flow is what I'm trying to say. Max?
Yes, sir.
Give us your book bar, bro.
Book bar is at page 188, chapter 11. I like that you're talking about flow, and I'm talking about focus, which goes hand in hand. You got to have focus in order to have flow. Yes. So he has a few parts where he introduces the idea of having good focus. But before having good focus, you need to calm the mind. So he says, calm in your mind. And at page 188, at the top of the page 188, he says, you have to completely shift your thinking. It takes you a while to get into it, and it takes you a while to get back and remember where you were, said Gloria Mark, lead author of the study. And then we found that 82% of all interrupted work is resumed on the same day. But here's the bad news. It takes an average of 23
minutes
and 15 seconds to get back to the task. And all I got to say, it made me think of all of the times where I thought I was working. And then I get a text message. I read the text message. I get back to work, and I'm completely distracted. And I'm just falling behind on the task because I'm still focusing on what I read in the text message.
Yes. It is so imperative. Like, they got a chapter on focus. It's so imperative. How our creative brains are set up, guys. Our creative brains are set up to, again, kind of when you get into that flow and you're being creative, like you can kind of, or before you get into that flow, you can kind of pop off and get into anything else, right? You can lose your train of thought. That place called flow is so imperative. So just like you said, Max, the distractions, you got to guard that flow at all costs. Yes, guard the flow at all costs. That means letting people, like we were talking, I believe it's Intellectual Chocolate, a couple Soundboard Sundays ago. Yeah. We were talking about, or maybe, we were just talking about, again, letting your family know, if you're the artist in your family, if you have a family or whatever like that, but you might be single or whatever like that. But if you have a family, if you live with relatives, if you have children, letting them know, hey, listen, this is my time, right? In the book, it talks about having 2 hours.
Yeah.
2 hours. 2 hours to get into flow, guys. 2 hours to get into flow. That means that you're there. They said you're there for about 15 minutes, and almost about the 15 minutes, you're getting the juices going and things like that, and you don't kind of get into that flow state until about 45 minutes of continuous, being in that environment. So what that means is that it's just like working out, right? It's just like working out. Like you can do a high intensity workout. Maybe, you pushing it for like 10 minutes, but for the most part, the heart rate, it takes 30 minutes for the heart rate to be up for you to start burning fat. Same as with flow. Takes about 45 minutes for that brain to be going, no distractions, for you to get into that flow so you can create awesome music that the world needs to hear. I want you to remember that. So we're talking about productive habits, right? We had a Black and Thrifty. I love Black and Thrifty. We're talking about productive habits, how to develop productive habits. I made sure on the last live, the Most High was like, look, don't say the word good and bad habits, because they're not good and bad, it's subjective. I want to talk about productive habits. And here, guys, you guys are here because we're talking to musicians, music producers, singer-songwriters, recording artists. We talk to musicians, right? And specifically musicians who are adults, who ain't just not the young brothers and sisters who, they got mommy and daddy paying for them. We talking about the real adults who got bills, who got life stuff going on, who have relationships. We need productive habits. So let's talk about it. Where were we at? I believe we talked about the 1%. What do you need to form productive habits or break good or break bad habits? I'll use the term bad habits, or unproductive, destructive habits. So we talked about the 1% last week. We talked about habit stacking. And so this, so imperative. We're going to spend this last little bit talking about the length of time it takes to build a habit. Do you remember this part, Max?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So take some time, guys. Please hang out with us for a little bit. I'm going to do a little bit of reading. So, plastic surgeon, his name was Max Maltz. In the 1950s, discovered it took patients about 21 days before adjusting to their new face. And so they said adjusting to the new face when they had some plastic surgery going on, right? So if anybody's heard like Tony Robbins or a lot of these, self-help, mental folks, what I'm saying, who are working with you, everybody's like 21 days, 21 days, 21 days. The reason why they're saying 21 days is because we're in this American culture or this Western culture where we like, we got to get it fast. We got to get it fast. And they got to sell. That's just the bottom line about it. They have to sell. So they have to market to us and say, they know it don't take 21 days. That's the beauty of it. They know that it don't take 21 days. But they're like, look, 21 days you can break a habit. That's not necessarily true. The problem, right? The problem is that people sold it takes this amount of time, or it takes 30 days, or it takes that amount of time, right? Usually because they want to attract, it's the easy factor. This is easy. Nothing worth having for real came easy. Mm-hmm. Brothers, y'all know, any lady that you got easy, you question whether you had a sexually transmitted disease in the next morning. That's a fact. That's a fact. Nothing came too easy, right?
And you kind of look at it from a side eye, like, wait, is this real?
Is this real? Right. Is this real? Like, it doesn't. And then flip side, y'all know how many people who win the lottery, there's something called the lottery curse, right? Most people who win the lottery are like millions of dollars are broke because they never had any habits. They never had any financial sense, and they were looking for something easy. So when that easy came to them, they were not ready for it. This is why it's so important, guys, to talking about developing habits and getting it into our mind that it is going to be work. Yes, you can shorten that work, right? Getting coaching, you can shorten that work. Getting a book, having organization and having transformation, you can shorten that work, but it is work nonetheless. We got to get away from like, yo, what's going to be easy? What's going to be quick, right? I'm the chef up in the kitchen. I'm the chef up in the studio.
Talk to him.
But I'm an actual chef. I graduated culinary school, right? A roasted turkey, a Thanksgiving turkey, gonna taste way better in that oven than it is in the microwave. And you can cook a turkey in the microwave. I want you to think about this.
There you go.
The great stuff.
My bad.
Yes, go ahead.
That's why they say you need to give up something in order to go up. What are you going to give up in order to go up? It comes with sacrifice. It comes with, like you're saying, habits. As long as you don't necessarily sacrifice anything, you feel it's too easy to get, or even you like the taste of something, and even if you like the taste of it, even if you like the instant gratification, but it doesn't give you the outcome that's going to take you to the next level in the next few years, then might as well leave that habit, or even that destructive habit, like you said, you know?
Exactly. You might as well leave the destructive habit. Let's get back on board. Because look, I love talking, guys. I love chatting because that's just how my brain works. I love information for the sake of it being information. But again, I want to give you some gems to take away here today. So studies have shown on average, it takes 2 months to 8 months or 66 days to form a new habit or to break an existing habit. To form a new habit or to break an existing habit, 66 days at least. You got to be dedicated to this. 66 days at least, right? So that's 2 to 8 months. Some people, I think we talked about it in the last slide, but some people, it took as little as 18 days. It took as little as 18 days. If you got the discipline to form a new habit and keep that habit for the rest of your life in the next 18 days, please put a 1 in the chat because we're going to salute you. Yeah. If you can form a habit in 18 days, put a 1 in the chat. That's not a challenge. That's just a question. I'm just asking you guys because that's not the rest of us. The rest of us need to have the formula and the dedication to forming good habits so we can set this thing on autopilot and be great on purpose. That's what we're trying to be, is great on purpose. So what will it take? And we want to have some Q&A. So guys, if you have some Q&As, if Coffee Talk, you said you can, Coffee Talk, you might have to come on. I'd appreciate you coming on because we want to know about how you form your habits, how they stick. Has all the habits that you've tried to form, have they all been able to be as easy coming in 18 days? I'd love to have you on. If you would love to come in, let us say, just put it in. Yeah, I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? We'll add you real quickly. So here we go. What will keep you from developing new productive habits? Max, what keeps people from usually developing new productive habits, in your view?
I would say their mindset, for the most part. It's just the mindset, the environment they're in. If they pay attention, whatever you tune in, you turn into. Whatever you tune into, you turn into. So if you tune into something that is keeping you, that is holding you back from actually executing on your daily goals, you're just gonna keep on repeating those same habits, thinking it's normal. But
Right.
at the end of the day, it's not necessarily going to give you any outcome that you really want or any outcome that you actually deserve. You need to put in some actual work to become that person. In order, like, just in all what I'm saying is just you got to become that person you want to be in the next 5 years. And when
Exactly.
it comes down to that mindset you have today, you got to look at certain things, certain actions you take on a daily basis that's keeping you from becoming that person in the next 5 years. So that's when you could start eliminating. Okay, I'm watching too much Netflix. Gone. No, I'm just all over social media for certain hours. You need a time block. Once you have that time block, fix that mindset, you're on the right path.
Exactly. Having for a person like myself who can get distracted with certain things, it's okay to have a distraction time. It is okay to have a set aside time for distractions, right? But we have to remember that those set aside times for distractions also are going to keep us from getting the bag that we're looking for later on. That's just the truth about it. And that we have to remember that when we set aside time for distractions, or, hey, listen, I'm gonna just entertain myself or watch something, this, that, and the other. Okay, that's cool. And it's not a problem, but as long as there's a set aside time and it's not during your workflow time or whatever like that, go ahead and do it. Right, so here we go. And Coffee Talk, I'm gonna have you come on in 2 seconds. Let me just wrap this up. So, what will keep you from developing new productive habits? Lack of clarity, equaling lack of motivation. Okay, lack of clarity equaling lack of motivation, which I can help with. All right, my name is Maddie the Chef McCaskill. I help musicians develop the habits to produce better music faster, all right? So that you can attract paying clients and go ahead and get to whatever else you were trying to do. Set it on autopilot. Max Mupese works specifically with artists, emerging artists looking to attract gigs. He's got a book now that's I'd say the book's worth $100 some odd, 150. You know what I'm saying? 100 some odd dollars, only $50 right now. Tap into him. Invest in yourself, because the person that you are, my coach said this, the person that you are today is not the person that you desire to be. So you know what's heavy about that, y'all? What's heavy about that is that you have to figure out what you have to do different from the person that you are today to become the person that you desire to be. That's the heavy part about it.
There you go.
So, lack of clarity, low energy, we talked about that, right? You got to be eating the right foods. You have to be exercising. You have to go to bed.
That good.
And you got to drink proper stuff. You got to stay away from them low energy type of people though too.
Right.
Same way with the low energy type of people. And sorry, sometimes it is our family members. Sometimes it is our family members. And sometimes that low energy person is up here. Right? Sometimes that low energy.
You got to call it a certain name if that person's just all in your
I like to call him Gerald.
Oh.
I like to call him Gerald. I like to be like, I'm gonna say, shut up, Gerald. Shout out to my people named Gerald, you know what I'm saying? But Gerald gotta shut up, you know what I'm saying? When Gerald try to tell me some doubtful talk, shut up, Gerald.
I call him Koofy, so I can Koofy smash him.
Well, right on. That's awesome. I think Coffee Talk might have had somebody give him a call.
All right.
You know I got bars. Coffee Talk. If you gone, you gone. Come on back. We're looking for you. Anyway, so you got lack of clarity, low energy. The last one is circumstances. This is important because circumstances, you can't help that. You can't help circumstances, right? You know what I'm saying, Max? Like we were talking about last week, you said that your, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? Your coach your coach passed away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You cannot help a circumstance like that.
Right.
Coffee Talk, we got you. We got you coming in. We got you coming in. Literally 30 seconds. So you got circumstances, and then you have environment. Okay? And we talked about that again. Back to that low energy. The environment. The wrong people around you or distractions. These things keep you from developing and maintaining those habits that you need. I hope you all took notes because we're not staying long. Coffee Talk. Let's get Coffee Talk in here. So
Yes.
Coffee Talk can let us know about these.
AKA Vance Michelle. He was a recording artist at one point. Yeah.
Okay.
He still
Gotta
got
go live with your Coffee Talk.
recording artist and comedian. It's good.
Appreciate you. Coffee Talk. I only have one stipulation. If we can keep the, you know what I'm saying, the language, you know what I'm saying, a little bit of PG and things like that so we can let a wider audience, you know what I'm saying. I appreciate you. If you can help us out with that, that'd be awesome. So please, brother, tell us how you develop habits in 18 days, and this cannot be no cap. No capping going on here.
Okay, yo.
Yes, sir.
Matter of fact, I just want to give it, before I even let it on, I want to shout out to Matt Muspesi, because here's the thing, Chef, like, I'm a guy, I fucks with Max, oh, my bad. I mess with Max a lot, all right?
Yes,
and
yes.
The thing is that me and Max, we don't communicate on a daily basis a lot, but the thing is, at the same time, and that's why, I consider him, like, to this day, like, even though we don't communicate like that, like, he's part of my circle, like, because he motivates me, and I know at the same time I'm motivating him. So, like, because even though we don't daily on the thing, but we understand each other's king's mindset. Now, that's the day. That up until this day, that's why we mess with each other, and that's why I'm asking continue to do how we deal with each other, and like how we let each other in our lives is like, because I'm a positive dude, he's a positive dude, and you know what I mean. Like you said, you got to stay on your goals, so you can't let a lot of people that's in your a lot of people that's in your circle. That's a real lesson that I had to learn, because if you really want to get to the next level, if you really want to get to the person that you really want to be, you really got to eliminate the people that's not messing with your vibe.
Right. Of course.
Like you really got to eliminate those people, and it'd be hard. Sometimes at the end of the day, you might think, like, damn, that's my relative, or damn, that's a person I grew up with since birth, or like, but like, I'm on something like, you know what I mean? I'm trying to build something real good for everybody around us, and he's not with that. So like, you got to eliminate that person from your vibe. So like, if you really want to get to the next level, like you say, one step, like you say, I'm really down with, and I just learned that for real this year, you really got to eliminate the people that's not down with your vibe. That's not, if they're not down with what you're trying to do for real, your purpose, your mission in life, then you really got to not eliminate them, but maybe some people you got to love from afar, but you can't keep communicating with these people every day. You can't be like, hey, what's up? Or if they say, hey, what's up to you? You can't be like, yo, what's up? And thinking like, yo, I could bring them with me up on the ladder. Because the reason why there was, I think I read a quote the other day. I said, if they did something foolish enough for you to remove them from your life, don't be foolish enough to invite them back in.
Yeah.
That's heavy. That is heavy. That's heavy. Let me ask you a question real quick. What's your cultural background? Are you in Canada?
I'm Haitian.
Okay, you're Haitian. All right, well, okay, so I know the Haitian community, family and things like that, you know, is really a strong thing there. How did removing some of these people, what did they try to hit you with? You know what I'm saying? And how did you feel when you had to, like, remove some of these people for everybody's own good, should I say?
How did I feel, you're saying? Like, personally?
Yes, sir. How did you feel?
I felt kind of like twisted at first, but then at the end, like I felt like it's been almost a year, 2 years where I kind of removed these people on my peace, bro. Like I'm at really like at first it felt kind of funny because I'm like, yo, these people are my family, and I'm like, these are my relatives, and then I'm thinking like, yo, these people are gonna be down with me for life. But then after that, I started doing my own thing. I started being on my purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the end of the day, I started to know my days were filled with my purpose, like because I was doing the things that I love, which was making people laugh and cook food. Like, yeah, I went to shout out to you because I went to Pearson. I went to Pearson, and I graduated that, and now I'm a cook. I'm a cook like you. I got my degree in culinary arts, and the same time at the time I was going to school, I found out that like I make people laugh. So I'm like, thanks. Shout out to Maximus Spessy. He had me do stand-up comedian.
Yo, let me tell you, how you say Max, how you have literally said Max's name is the greatest thing. I appreciate you for saying Max Muspesi.
Oh, I'm telling you, bro, Max Muspesi, shout out to Max. Yo, because I keep fucking up his last name.
No, it's different. It's difficult. It's difficult.
I'm actually found my purpose in life right now because I was like, yo, I'm thinking of maybe doing a stand-up comedy thing. And then he was like, yo, I'm about to do a stand-up comedy show. Do you want to be on? You could do your first set on my show. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. So I did that, and I met comedians, and now to this day, that's what I mainly do. I'm a stand-up comedian, thanks to Max right now. Like, because like I always thought about it, but like Max was like, yo, here it is. Are you going to do it? And then I was like, I had no choice. I was like, yeah, I guess I got to do it. I got to put my balls and do it. And then a lot of comedians to this day tell me like, yo, how did you feel when that guy put you on the poster? Because I didn't get that for my first set. Like, people expected you there to do your first set. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, yeah, man. And that's when I actually met a lot of people to this day that's like critical to my career. So like, Max, shout out to you, bro. Like, you know, you already know how good I am right now. So I wouldn't ever figure it out. Like, that's my calling in life. Right. Because of Max. So, Max opened the door. Like, Max, like, yo, you told me this. I'm about to make the opportunity for you. Here's a chance. And then I was like, at that time, I'm like, I felt it. You know what I mean? So I was like, I'm gonna do it. And then when I did it, that's when I saw real shit. Like, that's when I saw real people coming in my life and real people leaving out my life.
Right.
When
you got serious.
Yeah, when my calling
When you got serious.
And when my calling came, that's when I saw like, yo, I had like 29 to 5s. And then when I saw my calling, I thought rapping was my calling at that time. I had 3 mixtapes. I was working on rapping. I was in the studio, all that. But after that, I was like, yo, stand-up comedy is that shit. And then rapping, you know, that's to the side.
That's amazing, bro. That's amazing. That what I hear is the language though too. So we got to chill on that coffee talk.
Oh, my bad.
That's the first thing. That's secondly, what I also hear is the power of someone on the outside helping. You know what I'm saying? And again, like helping and coaching, because you had that inside of yourself, but it took somebody else saying, look, I see what you got going on. I'm going to set a goal for you, and now you got to reach that goal. And you, like you said, you know what I'm saying? You had to essentially put up or shut up.
Exactly.
Right. That's the power. That's the power of coaching, and having somebody on the outside. That's what a coach. Max is a great coach. You know what I'm saying? Max is a great coach. You know what I'm saying? Because now, if you're changing lives and you're actually getting because Max is a great coach, but you're the person doing the comedy, so your comedy is based on your talents, not based on Max, but Max was that engine, you know what I'm saying, that you needed. So I hear that's the breakthrough point almost, right? Am I correct about that?
Yeah. And the thing is, like, as you can see, my name is Vance Michelle, but like I'm on my Coffee Talk Instagram, and
Gotcha.
I think like I do a motivation podcast, and like, you know, like Max, sometimes he mostly comments, he likes things like that. He supports that as well, like, because since I was doing that comedy, I was doing the comedy thing, but I also feel that I'm a motivational guy as well too. So like, I do the Coffee Talk podcast. It's like me, and like I got, like I even got merch on it. Like I'll show you.
When's your coffee pot? When is your Coffee Talk podcast?
It's like every day. It's like on YouTube, and it's on Spotify, iTunes, and Google and everything.
Word.
Yeah. So I do that on the side too. Like, you know what I mean? Because I feel like that's part of my purpose as well. Like, I'm an entertainer, but as well, like, I talk shit, but like, I live my life. So like, I lived a lot of, oh, my bad. I'm sorry about
Uncensored.
that. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. But like, yeah, I live my life, and like, you know, like, because of that, I feel like it's wrong for me to be quiet about it, because I got a lot of things, like, as you can hear, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I could spit. So that's why I'd be like, as you can see on my mug.
What does it say? Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So listen. Van, what would you like me to call it? Is it Vance or Vito? Okay, Vance, cool.
Whatever.
Vance, I did not hear how you formed a habit in 18 days. I'd like to hear that, sir.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, here's the deal. So the way how I formed the habit in 18 days is like, yo, you really gotta block out and force yourself to do it, because it's the thing with my podcast. I didn't really want it to. It just became a habit now. Like, it's not even a thing. Like, oh snap, it's not even work. It's like, yo, snap. Oh, it's natural. But I'm like, dang, I kept this habit up for 3 years. How did I really do that? And I remember how I did it is because I really, what I do, I really scheduled it. I really write it out.
There you go.
I wrote it out, put the time zone and the thing on, and I was like, yo, I gotta follow this. And that's it, because this is my purpose is lined up with the schedule I made with the time zone. And it was 8 o'clock I woke up, 8:30 I make 6 o'clock I woke up, 6:30 I make my breakfast, 7 o'clock I'm gonna record Coffee Talk, 7:30 I'm gonna post it, 8 o'clock I'm gonna work on another podcast I do, 8:30 I'm gonna write jokes, 9 o'clock I'm gonna clean my room, 10 o'clock I'm gonna make food. Yeah, like, you know, I made a routine for myself. You have to make that. You have to write out the routine. You have to routine and follow the routine. And once you follow the routine, you're gonna feel like, oh man, you back in school type shit when you were doing the schedule. But yo, that's how they had you following the routine for damn near 18 years. So you might as well follow that same formula to make it work for your damn self. You know what I mean?
There you go.
The white people had you doing it for 18 years like that to make it work for you.
Right.
So now I'm like, yo, you know what? I'm going to put myself in school. I'm going to read my books and I'm going to make myself still. That's what I did. So I made my schedule. I made my classes. Yo, at 10 o'clock, I'm doing comedy class. At 11 o'clock, I'm reading, at 11 o'clock, I'm reading books, and it's books like, not the Bible, my G. It's, you know what I mean? I mean, I'm learning Italian. I'll try to learn Italian, but mostly I'll be trying to read self-help books, like the 7
habits, 7 effective habits.
Yeah, 7 effective habits.
Or 7 habits of highly effective people, I think, by James Covey.
There you go. And The Power of Now. I'm reading, you know, I'll be reading some Tony Robbins shit. Oh,
Are
sorry.
you gotta develop the habit of, man,
Yeah.
listen, take it up out of there. You know what I'm saying? A little bit. It's not even, and here's the thing. Here's the thing is that it's not so much that I don't want to break your flow. It's that, again, you see habits, you know what I'm saying? Habits are with us, and this, that, and the other. And if you are coming on as a, you know, being invited as a guest and things like that, and we're like, hey, in this specific room, this is how we talk. You see how developing certain habits is imperative.
Yeah.
You know, being able to turn it off like that and turn it back on. Listen, if we just hanging out, you know what I'm saying, or whatever like that, I don't really care. But because we talk to, this broadcast goes out to a myriad of people. That's just the only reason. And then to, you know, again, rebroadcast it. You know, if we want to take it and upload it, then you gotta like do editing, and that's why people try to refrain from, you know what I'm saying, let's just call it adult language. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, they're just words. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, but I appreciate you. I appreciate you, man, for sharing that, bro, man, for coming out. Is there any when you struggled? Have you ever struggled with developing a habit, and what happened, do you think?
Yeah, lately I kind of was struggle with developing a habit, and that's because I had a negative friend, and I, like, you know, when I think I have a close friend, but like I just didn't have I didn't have a moment to realize, like, yo, this guy's toxic. Like, I thought he was cool, but like I thought he was toxic. So like I really thought I was on my grind, but then I felt like there's a lot of things. There's a couple things missing in my life. I don't know why. But then after that, I'm chilling with this guy one time, and then he was like, "Yo," and then things wasn't vibing that day, and it was on a week when I kind of figure out some things with myself. Like I'm not gonna deal with a couple of things in my life no more. So now I'm dealing with this guy. He came over to my house, and then I'm like, yo, you know what? I think after an evening with this guy, I was like, you know what? He's pretty toxic. I'm not dealing with him. And then after dealing with him, I was like, oh, snap. I'm really focusing now. Like, there's nothing like I'm really getting like the schedule I mentioned before. Really getting on it now. Like I was attacking it before, but like before now I'm like, whoa, seriously focused. Like I really took him out of my life. So I guess to answer your question, I guess it was removing toxic people.
There you go. Now, and that's essentially what ends up happening is, so now that you know that removing toxic people is imperative, the next step is to say, where is my gauge for how do I guess categorize a toxic person to begin with? Because if you can figure out how to say, wait a minute, this person's toxic, if they have a criteria for fitting into your life, then you don't even use up that time spending with them a week, a month, a year, them being a toxic person. You sound like a very open person, like myself and things like that. You know, very open people, very empathetic, want to help people, but again, at the same token, we have to know ourselves so that we can be helpful, you know, to other people, you know. And that one toxic person can, in the because we work with musicians, but again, the arts is the arts. That one toxic person can be distracting you from reaching and touching the lives of hundreds of people. So I appreciate you, brother, man, coming on. You got to tell us one thing that, man, you got from this conversation today.
You know, one thing I got from this conversation was that, you know what, no matter where you are and what time you are in your life, is that if people got something off of their chest to say, that's always going to resonate with somebody, and that could always help somebody in their lives, like for the next day. I mean, and to always trade in, I guess, expectation for acceptance.
There you go. Appreciate you, bro, for coming on, man. Join us every Sunday.
Much love.
At 3 p.m. Soundboard Sundays. Appreciate you, Vance. I gotta take you up out of there, bro. Yo, we're chopping it up. You know what I'm saying? You guys heard it. Sometimes Vance is a special character because he can develop habits in 18 days. But even more so, if you are not able to be as productive as Vance, watch this replay again, share this live with some folks who need to develop habits. If you are a musician, just working the transition to the music production space, or you've been doing it for a little bit and you're kind of hitting a brick wall and things like that, I can definitely help you out with that. I'd love for you to reach out, and we have a clarity call. Hit me in my DMs. I'm gonna keep this open for about 30. My DMs open for about 30 minutes, and I got some other things to do. But hit me in my DMs, and we can set up a clarity call. I'll send an email to you and help you, get you on some of that on the right direction, and see if you need any more help or any of that type of stuff, because I know what I'm doing, and sometimes that's exactly what you need, is a mentor, a guide, moving you in the right direction so that you can be great quicker. That's exactly what it is. Max,
Yes,
what you got for him, bro?
Man, I love the fact that Van said, write out what do you say exactly? I'm gonna read. He said
again. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he said, write out your routine. So
write out your routine.
If you're able to write out your routine, you'll feel like you'll get into a better flow, like we talked about earlier. And yeah, just for anyone who's tuning in, my name is Max Lupese. I help emerging artists increase exposure, whether it's through talent coordination, talent development, and making sure that they get more exposure when it comes to going on stage, live performance.
There you go. Max, I appreciate you, brother, for joining, taking your time out, for the Soundboard Sundays. And yeah, we will see you all, most high willing. We'll see you all next week. Next week, I think we're going to be doing the mental health check, because I want to share something that happened to me this week that was really personal. So yeah, we'll link up next week, guys.
All right.
Peace.
Love.